Richie Rich Show.
Hey YouTube, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy back on the ones and twos, 3, 4s, and 5s of this trucking damn game. I meant to make this video a couple days ago, but I got a little sidetracked. I had to take care of some maintenance issues that I find out that it's going to cost an arm, a leg, and ass. I'm a little heated about that, but I'll get into that in a minute, what that exactly is. But this video is just, I almost witnessed a tragedy the other day, and it made me think about how some of these tragedies can be avoided, and how people sometimes are really like the Pied Piper. You remember that story as a child where the Pied Piper came into town, played his music, and everybody followed him and drowned. For some reason, human behavior, even if you're right or wrong, it's weird. It's not really, I can't really call this situational awareness. I just call it following the leader. The other day, before I say that, let me say this. I saw 2 of my subscribers. I want to give you guys a huge shout out. Sorry, I got some I want to give you guys a huge shout out. Thanks for showing love and saying hi. One of my subscribers I saw in Oklahoma at a truck stop, and I was inside there. I usually don't go inside and eat, and this dude took out his camera and took a picture of me. I'm like, what the hell? And then he was staring at me like bashfully. I'm like, man, I don't bite. He said, I'm just a little nervous. I know that a lot of you guys don't want people coming up to you speaking, whatever. But I said, man, it's all good. You come up and say hi. I ain't a celebrity yet. I wish I was, but if you see me on the street, say hi. Another guy I saw in Missouri, Springfield, he just got done with his training, and we shared a little jewels about going forward, and I want to give him a shout out too, man. Thanks for watching and supporting my channel. Really, like I told you guys, I make these videos for a few reasons. One, just to be honest and truthful from my perspective. What I say on here isn't gospel, but it's one of those things that you can use as a guideline to your life and your journey in this trucking game, and hopefully, things I've been through that were bad experiences, you don't have to experience those. And then another reason is for mental health relief. Be on this road, you really don't talk to a whole lot of people. I'm not saying I'm a lonely guy, but the truth is, only persons you can really have a conversation with is dispatch, shipper, and receiver. Some people don't even talk to them because dispatchers are too busy to talk to you, and shippers, receivers are rude and don't want to talk to you either. So a lot of times guys have, health problems letting their mental health, well, they have problems with their mental health out here. I mean, you can get out here and be lonely as hell. Not saying that I am, but I just like to spread some knowledge, and I'm not training. I usually talk to my trainees about everything, and since I'm done with training and haven't really been doing it for some time, this is kind of my little outlet. So now we got that out the way. What I wanted to talk about really was I witnessed something that could have been tragic. I was in Kansas picking up a load out of Liberal, Kansas. I don't really like going there anymore. The people are rude there, and you guys know what I'm talking about. That big old meat plant out there. For some reason, man, those dudes, those security are something special. I never liked security anyway as a former cop, but those guys are just rude. Very, very rude. But I was heading over here to Springfield, and I'm driving on US 400. Now, everybody knows US 400 goes from double lane to single lane to double lane. I mean, it's a country road. Anyway, I'm driving back that road doing like 60 miles an hour, just cruising, minding my business. And there was a Peterbilt 389 that wanted to pass me. So, I'm going to let him pass. But in front of me, there was another truck driving. So you know how that gets, right? Those single lane roads become double lane roads when you're trying to pass. Anyway, this driver, the Peterbilt, was hauling ass about 70 miles an hour. So I guess the guy on the right decided to speed up too. So there's 2 trucks driving eastbound, hauling ass 70 miles an hour. And what happens next? Well, a gang of cars are coming the opposite direction. And what shocked me is that neither of the trucks slowed down to let one over. Truck drivers can be some of the most despicable people on the planet. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to get into a reason why. Let me crack this window real quick. There we go. Guy has his APU running. Hope I don't. Okay. Truck drivers can be despicable people. They are. Some of them can be the nicest people in the world, and some of them be the most despicable people in the world. And what was happening is there was a convoy of cars coming westbound, and on eastbound, none of the trucks wanted to slow down to allow anybody over. So what happens? The cars coming westbound still was coming full speed, 70 miles an hour plus, but they wouldn't slow down either. And so what happens ultimately is the westbound cars were ran off the road, and I thought I was about to witness a mass casualty event. Probably about 3 or 4 cars went off into the ditch, and the Peterbilt finally got over in front of the other driver, but it was probably the most dangerous thing I witnessed out here in many years. And it could have been death, tragedy. And it made me think about a couple of things. One, truck driver was a despicable person for doing it. It was totally his fault. Okay, what he was doing was totally his fault. But the cars coming westbound, they saw that, but for some reason in their head they didn't decide to stop. They kept coming too. It was like they were playing chicken with each other. And I don't understand. Like, yeah, there's a situation in this country where people feel like they got the right of way and that you can't take it from them. And that's the American attitude, cockiness. I'm right. I'm in the right, so I'm not going to move or budge. They're in the wrong, even though it may cost you your life. Personally, if I saw a truck doing that, either going east or westbound, I'm going to back off and let them win. Don't be out here trying to win every battle. Some people just don't like to lose, and that's terrible. Because you're gonna win the fastest ticket to heaven or hell, depending on what kind of person you are. But westbound traffic ran off into the ditch, and still the trucks were hauling ass down eastbound side by side on a single lane country road. And I just couldn't believe it. Either driver didn't want to let the other guy pass. At that point, it is reckless. And see, I don't believe in telling on drivers out here. Like I'm not the type of guy to get a truck number, a trailer number, and call a company and report them to safety. I mind my business out on the road. I do. Because there might be times where I'm wrong. I just don't want somebody telling on me for stupid shit. But that was extremely dangerous, and that could have been tragic. Luckily, it looks like the cars got out the ditch. I mean, there were trucks, 4x4s. But it was just stupid. And it made me think about a situation when I was a police officer. I was in training for a joint terrorism team training down in somewhere in Virginia. And there were different law enforcement agencies from all over the country coming to this training. It was a seminar. I think it was during Police Officers Week or something. Anyway, this NYPD officer told a story, right, about human interaction and the entitlement some Americans have. And I thought he was going to get off into a story about a traffic stop where somebody's like, I don't know my rights. I hate those fuckers. Those corner store lawyers is what I call them. But no, he started telling a story about a homeless guy who was in Manhattan sleeping on his stoop. And every time somebody walked past him, he hit him over the head with a brick. Okay? The crazy thing about this story is he had 4 victims back to back. So that tells you that after the first victim was struck in the head, the second victim witnessed the first victim getting smacked over the head and still proceeded down the sidewalk. Then the third victim saw the first 2 victims who were attacked and still proceeded down the sidewalk. And then finally the 4th victim saw the other 3 victims who had been smacked over the head and were laying on the ground, and he proceeded to walk down the same sidewalk. Finally, until some civilians got some common sense, they tackled him. and he was arrested. But the police officer was telling the story like, sometimes us Americans are so entitled, like even though we are in the right, like those people were in the right to walk down the sidewalk, but their situational awareness was like oblivious, and they didn't care, and they got smacked over the head with a brick. I guess curiosity killed the cat, right? And the only reason I'm making this video is, when you guys are out here on the road, right, you could be in the right, okay? You could be in the right to make your turn. You could be in the right to make your parking. You can be in the right to do anything. But when you see somebody else coming who's in the wrong, let them win. Let them win, okay? This isn't a winter sport here in trucking, or just in the world in general. And I that's hard for some people to grasp that concept. And you see it every day. For instance, I'm in a truck stop, right? And this happens all the time. I'm in a truck stop trying to park, or I'm just driving through to get around. And you always see a guy, when you're trying to maneuver, he just keeps coming. He doesn't stop. Even though you're trying to maneuver and back up into a parking space, or you're trying to get into a fuel aisle, he just keeps coming. And then next thing you know, it's you, him, and other trucks just staring at each other. And the reason that is because somebody did not want to lose. Okay, somebody didn't want to lose. They just wanted to win. They didn't care. They ill disregard for human life. And see, this industry is full of that. Another topic that I wanted to talk about, right, is the news that you guys might have saw if you watched Trucker My Show. That's the Asian trucker from Florida. Down there outside Atlanta and Kentucky, there's a driver going around in the rest areas, drilling holes in truck drivers' tires. He done caused several $1,000s worth of damage, and he hit like 30 trucks in the middle of the night. And then somebody caught him speeding out the truck stop, or out the rest area. Didn't get a plate number, didn't get a tag. It was probably an owner-operator. And then, that's what makes trucking sometimes so dangerous, is because you're dealing with some evil people in this industry who have mobility issues, who are able to flee. A driver can, you can piss a guy off in Atlanta, Georgia, and by the time you figured out who did it, he's already in Dallas, Texas the next day. It's just, you got to watch your back out here and be visual. You know what I mean? And situational awareness has to be like 100. It has to be turned up to 100, because there's some evil people out here. Let me tell you what I'm dealing with. And I guess I'll link the bill to this video, maybe. But I went to, I had to get new steer tires. Steer tires were pretty bad, so that ran me about over $1,000. Then as they're doing an inspection on my truck, they realized that somebody cut the hub fan cord on my truck. I mean, they had to use like a industrial strength mechanic tool to do that. So when they showed me, I don't know how I missed it. I do pre-strip inspections. I just never thought to look inside the hub fan. And you guys, that's the fan, the big fan that spins inside connection. I had no idea. I'm not a mechanic. Anyway, when I'm looking at this thing, it's cut. But to cut that, you need an industrial strength buzzsaw to do that. I don't know if the asshole who had my truck prior to me getting it did that. The dealership, I had this truck serviced, and they didn't catch it. And then finally, when I came to do a quick DOT inspection, they caught it. And when I went to take it over to Peterbilt for the warranty, they wouldn't honor it. And they want over $5,000 to repair it. I know what happened, more likely. The guy, whoever had the truck before me, got frustrated, maybe lost his business, maybe lost everything, with the fuel prices and the low paying freight. And he had to turn the truck in, and he said, I'm gonna give you one last fuck you. And I'm gonna do something that you probably won't be able to catch. Because there's no truck engine light on my truck. There's nothing. When I got this truck, I looked over it with a fine-tooth comb, but I don't know how I missed that. And it is so concealed that I would not be able to pick that up. So, he won that one, or her one, whoever it was, won that battle. And now I got to come up with $5,000 to replace that. Because what happens is, if you don't, after a while, the fan burns out or your truck overheats because it can't cool down. So I guess I won't be going out Cali, right? The shit like that is just, like I said, some truck drivers are just some horrible ass people. They are. They're just horrible people. This industry, we were once known as Knights of the Highway. I remember that when I was young. And what I mean by that is, if your truck broke down, if you ever needed some help, a truck driver was going to pull over the side of the road and help change your tire or just help you. Okay? But these fuckers out here now are the ones causing mass hysteria, mass problems. I mean, look how they drive on the highway. They're running you off the road. Okay? Literally, what I witnessed the other day was literally a truck driver about to commit aggravated felony homicide with his truck. Those are the times I wish I was a goddamn police officer. I mean, when you see something like that, he committed so many acts of crime in just that single instance, right? Just because he didn't want to lose, and I'm not going to blame him only, but I'm going to blame the guy next to him. He didn't want to lose either. And he wasn't in the right. Yeah, he had the right of way, but he just didn't want to lose. Okay? He said, fuck that guy's life and fuck his. Then the guys coming westbound said fuck their lives too. Instead of them coming to a complete stop, they just kept coming. So, this country got a real entitlement issue. It does. Entitlement issue. So, I'm just making this video to remind you guys out here who drive truck, and be aware, and don't be afraid to fucking lose a battle out here. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you'll probably win the war. You understand? You can't be always winning out here and not at what cost, So anyway, guys, I'm sitting here, I'm a little pissed off because I literally got into a screaming match. Well, not a screaming match, just what the fuck moment with fucking Peterbilt. Like, what the fuck, dude? You guys didn't catch that shit? And now I gotta, you don't want to cover it under warranty? I mean, shit. The part itself is like $3,500. I'm going to link that on this video too, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But man, that is some fucking bullshit. Anyway, peace and love. Keep your head up. I ain't gonna lie. Some days I'm just sick of fucking trucking, man. I'm sick of the bullshit. The people. I don't know. It's frustrating. But that's what it takes to be a boss, I guess. And when you go out on your own here and you try to do things to get yourself ahead in life, there's always some gigantic, enormous ass fucking dick come out. It's got to smack you in your ass, right? So anyway, guys, be cool, be safe. Hope everybody's doing well out here. Market's still shit, but hey, we're going to make it work, right? Peace and love.